Hello good people, and welcome back to another math video. This time we are going to be talking about rates and unit rates. A little bit of review. Let's get started. First off, we'll have a couple definitions. A rate compares two numbers that have different units. So, let's see. An example could be if you're baking some pies and you bake 4 pies in 3 days. So that's an example of a rate because we have two different numbers. I have a 4 and a 3, but they have different units. It's 4 pies, but 3 days. Those aren't the same sort of unit. So that's an example of a rate. A unit rate is a rate with a denominator of 1. The most common unit rate that I think people would be used to would be like speed limit signs. So you might go by a speed limit sign and it says 40 mph. And that stands for 40 miles. There's our first number and our first unit. 40 miles per hour. And we're only talking about 1 hour. It's not 40 miles per like 7 hours or something. It's 40 miles per 1 hour. So our second unit would be an hour. And this is a unit rate because I have a denominator of 1. If I were to write this as a fraction, it would be 40 over 1. 40 miles to 1 hour. So unit rate is just a rate that has a denominator of 1. We'll get into a couple examples here. All right, so here's the example of a rate. 20 push-ups in 2 days. I have two different numbers here, the 20 and the 2. I also have two different units, 20 push-ups, but it's in 2 days. I'm comparing these. So I could write this as a fraction, and it would be 20 over 2. If I chose to get this down to have a 1 in the denominator, then I would have a unit rate. So the easiest way to get this down so that we have a 1 in the denominator is to divide. So we have a little chant. When I say unit rate, you say divide. That's our little chant here. So 20 over 2, and this is our fraction bar, also known as our division bar. 20 divided by 2 is 10. And then once we put our units in, this is going to make perfect sense. 10 what? Well, it's 10 push-ups that we're doing. 10 push-ups per day. And it's 1 day. So that's our unit rate. Unit rates are pretty popular at the grocery store. So here's one. 72 bananas in 6 bunches. So here's my first number, 72. Second number is 6. I have two different units. One is bananas and one is bunches. So there's nothing wrong with this rate, 72 bananas per 6 bunches. But if we wanted to have a unit rate, we would want to divide these quantities. So I'm going to set this up as a fraction, 72 over 6. And just like we talked about with reducing fractions, I can divide my top and my bottom, my numerator and denominator, until I have a denominator of 1. So 6 divided by 6 would give me that denominator of 1. 72 divided by 6 would give me 12. So now I have 12 over 1. Let me express this as a unit rate, and that is 12 bananas in 1 bunch. Unit rates are also pretty popular when we're talking about cars and going on trips. So here's a rate. 360 miles on 12 gallons of gas. 360 is my first number, 12 is my second, and I have two separate units, miles and gallons. Now, if I wanted to get a unit rate for this, I would need to divide. So here's my 360 over 12. I want to reduce this. 360 divided by 12 is 30. 30 what? Well, it is 30 miles. 30 miles per 1 gallon of gas. Okay, so the big idea is when you hear unit rate, you are going to divide. And that's it. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.